So, the 8 things you need to consider. Who's going to be your leader? What do you want your city to look like? In this case, Portchester Castle. Where are you going to site the bastions? The bits people would fire a ballista or a catapult from. The rocks or even the hot tar. How are you going to keep order? Well, you wouldn't have police in those days, but what are you going to do with your army? What is your plan? How are you going to keep people happy? That's the local people, not just the Romans. They're in the village. How is the castle going to help them? What is in it for them, in other words? Where are you going to locate your city? Well, we've touched on that already. It needs to be near water. There needs to be a well inside, etc. Who are you going to trade with? What are you going to trade? Well, as we looked at last lesson, there are some interesting things around here, some clues here, that would allow you to trade certain things. Who are you going to trade with? Well, do you want to trade locally with the people of Fareham or Wimmering, or even Portsea, which became Portsmouth later? Or are you in your castle going to trade with people further away? Are you going to trade with Romans in France, which used to be called Gaul, for example? And how are you going to organise transport? Remember, you need building materials, stone. And the stone for Portchester Castle wouldn't have been local stone, because the stone locally is chalk. So where would you get this from? Well, there was stone on the Isle of Wight, for example. You'd need to get it over from there. Or there's stone in Dorset. So you've got to think of transportation by boat or road. So what we've got to do today is think of these and put out a plan. So on a new page, what we would be best doing is inserting a new slide, or on your tablets in a Word document or something, and think of a plan. Okay, so what's the first bit here? What do you want your how are you going to keep order? Right, order. Okay. Point number 1. Army. Okay. Barracks, which is where they stay, are in. Where are they? How's that going to help? Army, to patrol. Where are they going to go? What are they going to do? Okay. Then we need, and you could think about 6 or 7 points I strongly feel here about what the army can do to protect you. Next, you're looking at happy plan. Okay. What are you going to do to keep people happy? What are you going to do about taxes? Well, you need to charge them, I suppose, to make sure that they respect you, but also, you don't want to go too far with them. What's reasonable in your opinion? After taxes, to make people happy, what are you going to do with poor people? What are you going to do with rich people? What are you going to do to protect them? And they need to see this. What happens when there are invaders? Where do the villagers go? Interesting point. And finally, after your happy plan, you have to have a trade plan. Okay, so you'll have here, is it going to be local? Is it going to be national? I.e., is it going to go to Southampton or further afield like that? Or is it going to be international? Are you going to trade with Gaul, France, or even further afield via boats? There are some things locally that you could trade. And then the final thing is building materials. Where are you going to get them from? What are you going to use them for? How are you going to organise workers? These questions you need to answer in a PowerPoint or any other presentation, or maybe just rough notes in your book. It doesn't matter, as long as you've got these ideas down.